Hi, my name's Mark. I'm one of the pastors here at Trillium. After I graduated with my Master of Divinity degree, which is what I need to be a minister in the United Church, I went on to do further work, advanced degree work, and I met a woman who was doing her doctoral studies. And she was probably one of the most attractive people I've ever met in life. She was extremely beautiful looking. And as I got to know her, I realized just how intelligent she was. She also had a sense of character. She was studious and committed. She worked hard. She also had a very bubbly and outgoing personality. She was fun to be around. And finally, to top it all off, she came from a really rich family. So she had the total package in a sense. She was brains, beauty, character, vivacious personality, and connected to money. Now, unfortunately for me, she was married. So I kind of spoiled it for me as a single guy, but I wondered about her husband. You know, who was he? I kind of envied him in a way. He seemed to me in some sense to be married to the perfect woman, and I wondered who that kind of guy would be. She must have had lots of choices in life. Well, next year, in the beginning of the second year of studies, I'm coming to the library for the first time, and don't I see this woman already there? And she smiles at me, and she comes over, and she says to me, and I give you an exact quotation, "Just want to let you know, Mark, my husband and I separated last summer." I go, wow, I didn't expect that. There's a little part of me, the little me in me that's going, yahoo, I got a chance here. We went out not too long afterwards for a coffee, and I realized that I was totally misguided on that she was heartbroken. She was devastated by her marriage breakup. That how she'd reached out to me was more an act of desiring support and acknowledgement and truth than it was about me personally. But I got started thinking about what kind of guy separates from the perfect woman? Like, I mean, what kind of guy would do that? And about a month later, I found out what had happened. That during the summer, her husband came out to her as gay. Wow, that was one thing she wasn't looking for or expecting. And there was nothing to be done about it. Wow, there was just nothing to be done. There was no negotiation. There was no way of fixing the problem. They still loved each other, and they still were best of friends, but there was no basis for a romantic relationship going forward. And now she was in a place, a heartbroken place, with her marriage falling apart around her, and there's nothing she could do. That's not uncommon in life, you know. We find ourselves in situations which we have no control over, grappling with issues that we have no ability to really influence. You know, this woman made me realize again just how fragile we are, how fragile our lives are, how fragile love is too, how vulnerable we are, and that how we all have our heartache to bear in life. Not something that we really like to think about too much. We like to kind of go about life as if we're sort of independent actors, that we're sort of the masters of our own destiny in a sense. We don't like to think about our fragility, our physical fragility or our emotional fragility, the fragility of our relationships. You know, my dad brought me up to be a staunch individualist, to need no one in life. He said to me, you know, you can like people, you can appreciate people, you can collaborate with people, but don't put yourself in a situation in life where you actually need somebody. It's not going to work out so good. Why? Because if you need someone, inevitably they're going to disappoint you in some way, or they're going to leave you in some way, or they're going to betray you in some way, or they're going to not keep their promises that they've made to you, or even if they're the most capable person, they're eventually going to become frail and incapable. And even if they're the most loving person towards you, at some point they might leave you by dying. You know, so what are we supposed to do with that? I mean, all relationships and life itself seems so fragile. You know, we looked at a psalm in the Bible last week, Psalm 42, about someone who finds themselves in a very fragile place in life, and they don't know how to get out of it. And they're in anguish, pain, suffering. On one hand, they're praising God. On the other hand, they're chastising God. On one hand, they're praising people. On the other hand, they're chastising people. They're kind of caught up in the chaos of the moment. You know, the psalm as a whole tells us one simple truth. Own your vulnerability. Own your fragility. By owning it and placing oneself fully in the hands of love, there is really a beautiful blessing waiting for us. By opening our hearts and our lives to love and to life, there is something waiting for us on the other side of any loss.